All right, so I'm repeating that same thing that I just did, but I wanted to show you how you smooth these things together in a close-up. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna drag the clay from one side to the other, connecting those three pieces, okay? And I'm gonna do it again over here. And you wanna go back and forth a couple of times to really help secure those pieces together, okay? So now I've got this kind of uneven bottom and all that kind of stuff. I can go ahead and tap this flat, okay? Again, this bottom side is what's going to be attached to here, okay? So I want to make that nice and flat. So again, smoothing this together, smoothing that back and forth, okay? So even though I flattened out this on the bottom, okay? I can again flatten that there, even flatten out the back side a little bit, okay? So the bottom is nice and flat, the back side's nice and flat, and what that's gonna do is that's gonna give me the ability to be able to attach it to my bowl here so that it's nice and even, okay? And also therefore it's nice and predictable, all right? Now, close-up of Score, Slip, and Smooth. So here's what we do. Take my comb, okay? And I'm gonna scratch it one way. Notice that I'm not going too deep, and I'm gonna scratch it the opposite way. Wherever I'm gonna attach this, I'm gonna kind of do it directly across from this, okay? So I'm gonna scratch it that way, and then I'm gonna scratch it that way. And all I did was just make it kind of rough, just like so. Take my fingers, dip it in my water, get a little bit wet. If you really want to, you can take a paintbrush and do the same thing. That might hold a little extra water, but you don't need too much. Especially if the clay is already soft, not that big a deal, okay? The harder the clay is, the more water you want to use, but again, it's kind of a fine thing. All right, so I'm gonna put this right here so you can see from the back side. This is gonna get pressed on directly across from this, so that way those two kind of line up with each other, okay? And then I'm gonna take, again, my favorite little tool, the popsicle stick, and I'm gonna do the same thing that I did on the back side and the bottom of my little design here. I scraped the clay down, I scraped the clay up. Notice that I kind of go in different directions, a little bit of a diagonal this way. And then when I go back down, I'm gonna go, you know, maybe vertical, okay? Or diagonal the opposite way, all right? So that way I just get a lot of different directions in which the clay can be connected. You will get some chunks of clay that kind of peel up and get scraped off. Not a big deal. Okay, just like so. Then I'm gonna take my rib, all right? Just to help smooth it out, use that beveled side, if you can see that, okay? So this is the beveled side. If I flip it over, okay, notice that this side is perfectly flat, okay? So that bevel side, I'm gonna go ahead and use to help smooth out any of those little tool marks. Might want to use my rounded side. And again, this helps make it so that it's perfectly smooth on the inside, so you can never tell that it was more than one piece of clay, okay? All right, on to the next one. Show you that in the next video.